Welcome. Today we are going to read S.T. Coleridge's Rime of Ancient Mariner. This is one of most important poem of romantic literature if we look at from UGC perspective. Most of the time each question is from the poem. Hence the value of this poem is more important as compared to other. You can simply say in romantic literature one question is mostly from Jane Austen, one from William Wordsworth and nearly one from S.T. Coleridge. And rest two questions are from different authors. It can be Mary Shelley's Frankenstein and other. But S.T. Coleridge, especially this poem is very important, and we are going to cover what mistakes students do when they are reading this poem, and how we can gain more marks if we are reading this poem systematically. As we know, this poem is the first poem that opens Lyrical Ballad 1798, that is a joint venture of William Wordsworth and S.T. Coleridge. In this sense, you can say that Romantic Age's first poem is Rime of Ancient Mariner, and it is by S.T. Coleridge. If we look at the very poem, and I am going to read this poem from this book, 15 Poets, and that is here we are having this Samuel Taylor's Coleridge Rime of Ancient Mariner. And from here let's talk about structure, because structure is most important part of a poem, and when we are making notes of this poem we often ignore structure. If we go at structure, that mostly the poem is divided into 7 parts, and this 7 part question is asked several times by UGC in different years. So do remember, the poem is having 7 parts and 4 line each, but in maximum 4 line each in maximum stanza, and some of its stanzas are having 5 line, and a few of it are in 6 line each also. And in this sense you can say that 4, 5 or 6 line stanza we are having here in this Rime of Ancient Mariner, and this make us very strong. And now if we go by the characterization, then it has several character. If you normally look at the poem, then you will find that there is only 2 character. One is the wedding guest and second is the narrator, that is mariner itself, and that is not the case. The poem is having several other characters. One is surely the ancient mariner, who is also the narrator of the poem. The second one is the wedding guest, which we are having the person to whom the story is introduced or told. And third are the 200 crew members. The poem also include 200 members of it, and this thing is mentioned in third part is mentioning these 200 poem 200 crew members with the line 4 times 50 living men. 4 times 50 living men, 4 times multiply by 50 is equal 200. So there are 200 crew members, and there is one pilot means the person who is leading the ship towards destination, and there is a pilot boys mean helper who help the pilot to guide or other things, and there is a hermit, that is a sage or a holy person you can say, who guide others. And the last one is albatross, the bird is also very important character over here. And in that sense you are having it. And now if we go with this 4 line 5 line or 6 line stanzas of this poem in 7 parts, then that is 2 type of structure this poem is giving. One poem, some of its line are in iambic tetrameter. Tetrameter means 4 feet per line, or somewhere it is iambic trimeter, that is 3 feet per line per line. These 2 points are more important, as several time question is asked on meter or crew members, or different how many characters it has, how many uh, crew members were there, or to whom the story is introduced, what is the name of bird that is killed in the poem. But these are some other points that we have to remember. But if we go by the opening of the poem, then we can find that the poem open with the title, and the very title says, the Rime of Ancient Mariner in 7 parts. And the poem quietly opens with an argument, and we can see this argument is having some part, and that defines the poem is how a ship having passed the line is defined, and the coal country towards south pole. So this south pole is most important, and moving towards a tropical latitude of the great Pacific Ocean. This is also the destination, and there are several different attempts and to define it. And now come the two important thing: what is the name of ship, or what is the ocean, or where this ship was struck. If we look at the ship name, sometime the ship is called ghost ship, bhuto ka something, and sometime it is called phantom ship. And this phantom ship's quality is that it is full of skeleton, not human body, as we are aware that 200 crew members were dead, and these become into skeleton, and they were always alive and walking on the ship. And you can if you want to imagine what type of character look or appears when they are walking as a skeleton dead, you can watch famous Johnny Depp's movie Pirates of the Caribbean, and they were also having curse, and in different parts it is explained how these people come into curse, and when the moon passes on them they become into skeleton. Otherwise they are more like equal human, and these skeletons are taking ship from one destination to other. So it is similarly like them. And we in case of uh, that poem, we are having the longest poem of uh, first that lyrical ballads, and also one of the longest poem of St. Coleridge, or you can say longest poem of this person. And the ship, as we say, is struck after getting the name of ship. We come to the sea where the ship was struck, and the sea was Antarctic. And in Antarctic it was struck, and sometime it is presented as a very idle picture, and you can get it from the quotation or the two lines that as idle as a painted ship upon a painted ocean. And this is a torturous situation you have to see in your mind. And this line is used in several other exam of UGC. And if you are checking 20-30 years history of UGC, then you will find this quotation in several of exams. And one more line that appears: water, water everywhere, nor a drop to drink. And these poems are very different. And as we know that 200 men of this person, that narrator or the mariner, are dead, but only he survived. It is a kind of torture, as an albatross is hanged towards his neck, around his neck, and he is living a cursed life. And someday hermits say that if you give food to if you donate or donate something to other people, then your curse could be death. And this way he feed fishes over there, fish in the ocean. And after some time the mother nature was happy, and his curse is removed, and the albatross is come out of his neck. So the question could come: which story is showing albatross struck around the neck of a mariner? And the title is simply, we are having this Rime of Ancient Mariner. In case of inspiration, this poem is inspired from James Cook's second voyage of exploration to the South Seas and the Pacific Ocean. And this point is explained in the very argument section. So argument is saying very true, same thing. Even if we check Coleridge's teacher or tutor, who was William Wales, he was one of the person who was in the ship of James Cook. And now you can imagine that such kind of story is narrated to Coleridge by his tutor or teacher, and in this way you can compare it with the suggested another kind of poem that inspired by the same, that is Thomas James into the Arctic. And several poets praise this book. And this poem proved to be a success, and it is used in several version. Various school, college, universities are adopting it. And the curse that is given to the mariner is not only that he will go and narrate story, but it is everyone he met in his life, he will told his guilt or his crime that he had done to the poor albatross. And that is why, since the curse of albatross is over, that mariner is moving from one place to another with his story, and he is explaining the same story to everyone. And ultimately these mariner were also among them. And sometime the question could come, how many were the number of wedding listener. And you have to check, or you can comment in section that how many member or people were of those who were moving to the wedding ceremony. And if you see this kind of thing, the need of UGC is not to check everything about the poem or history. No, you simply pick some points which no one reads. For example, in which meter the poem is written, no one is going to check. So it is iambic tetrameter or iambic trimeter. The question was come, I remember when I was solving this question, and I think I do not know the answer, iambic pentameter or trimeter, sorry, iambic tetrameter or trimeter. So it is a common mistake which I did. So I want you all not to commit the same mistake or repeat the same mistake again, as this question could bring 2 marks to you, and 2 marks are more important. With it you can also get either UGC net or JRF. Either is a very wonderful achievement if you are going. So but my points would be incomplete or unnecessary or not enough if you are not reading the whole of poem. So this poem is just it is in 7 parts, and not very long enough poem. You can finish the poem in 5-10 minutes, or might be half an hour. So if you really want to fetch more marks from this poem, start reading this poem, and especially the opening. When you see the very opening, then you will come to know several new things which is not given in any other book, Wikipedia or something. That is how the sorry and how the poem structure is defined in the very beginning. The rhyme of ancient mariner in 7 part and argument. So the poem is opening with an argument, and that argument is more important. And always remember the name of bird, that is albatross, and without it it would be very unwell. And one more important, in the part 5, in the third line, most important point is explained, that is Queen Mary. And the line says, to Mary Queen the praise be given. So why this praise be given is at that time in 1712, when Queen Mary no, sorry, it was Queen Anne. I think that is related to some biblical symbol or whatever. So the thing is that if you really want to get good marks out of this poem, read full this poem at least one or two time and try to make notes of good quotation. So quotation could come from where you get what thing that there are several quotation which appear several time or you are aware about them. Note them on a separate place, and reading a poem will give you a big confidence, and then try to make several notes. And if you are making notes by your hand, that will give you more confidence. And apart, you can also move to notes of other institute, but first I will prefer you all to be through the poem at least, and read by yourself and then make notes. And with this I would say thank you. If you like this video, then do like our channel, subscribe and share it with your friends, and with your cooperation I can get more subscriber, and this video will reach to maximum number of people who are in need. So let's keep sharing, and I am sharing my information, my knowledge with you. You can share this video with your friends, and with this I will say thank you, take care. I hope one day all of you will crack UGC net or JRF, or you will become teacher, professor in some school or college or university. With this, thank you, take care, good day. We will meet again in next lecture. Take care, bye.